coming this summer. Just kidding. It's actually coming sooner than that. Just wanted you guys to know that, sorry, I'm in a storage building here, but just wanted you to know that the behemoth lives. This is Mandy, everybody. You gotta name your smokers. But she's on a trailer, as you can see. There's the firebox. And I just noticed, forgive me, fellow barbecue lovers out there, that I did not clean out my firebox the last time I used it. That's a big no-no. I must have been in a hurry, because that's something I don't ever want to do. You can get moisture that collects in that and rust your bottom out. But yeah, there's the firebox there. As you can see, I got some fire bricks in there. We'll get into those explanations later. But I like these grates here. You can put some sides there on the firebox. You can cook some beans. Some, well, anything. Potatoes, whatever you want. Like these little sort of table edges along the sides. This is the back side of it. Sorry for the close quarters here. But as you can see, like I said, it's on a trailer. She's a beauty. So I had some welding done on this when I first got it. I'm actually a certified welder now, but that came after the fact. At the time I was not when I bought it. During COVID, not that I want to get into a lot of explanations, but I went to vocational school because I was bored and laid off for welding and got certified in MIG welding. But yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. But I'm out of practice. I would like to practice a little bit. But anyway, I'm rambling a little bit. There's the hitch. Oh yeah, the welding that I had done. I did have some chains put on it, you know, for when I haul it. Don't want to lose your trailer there. They did plug a couple of holes that were here. They were just real tiny holes. They did a good job. And that's just where, I think whoever built it, the racks that they welded to the inside that holds, you know, this grate on here, they started to burn through. They started to burn through here a little bit. So anyway, I had that filled. But these are just tarps I got laying on the inside. But like I said, I like these rails here. I'm gonna get this cleaned up again. I did do a wedding. I catered a wedding last year. I'm gonna close this up. Welcome back to the channel. Put Sage on it barbecue. I am Sage. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your support if you're watching this video. Today we're gonna make pulled chicken, something a little different. I feel like pulled pork gets all the limelight. You know, pulled pork is something that is sold at every barbecue joint from here to South Carolina. And pulled chicken, not so much. You know, it's hit or miss. Maybe, maybe not. I feel like people do quarters a lot more. But anyway, I like to do things on the channel that are, you know, sort of experimental. Like I've said before, I don't know everything, and I'm a student of barbecue. As much as I know, and like I said, I spent a lot of time as a barbecue apprentice and learning from people who do this for a living. And I'm still learning, you know, and I hope that you always have that attitude too. So that said, I'm trying something today that is a little different in the fact that it is the cheapest rub I could find. There's plenty of very expensive rubs out there, you know, Franklin, and I've got some of those. Franklin's rub, Myron Mixon, anybody in barbecue knows that name. But anyway, I wanted to try Aldi's brand. This is just general all-purpose bottom shelf stuff. And my purpose is to see, is this delicious? You know, it's that simple. Would I serve this like as a catering dish to somebody? Because we're not always going to have either the access or even the finances, you know, to get this expensive stuff. Grocery prices are very high right now. And I hope you get that from this channel. That, you know, you can listen to anyone on YouTube who's doing anything with barbecue, myself included. But at the end of the day, you know, everyone's not all right and everyone's not all wrong. They just found what works for them. And I like to take bits of, you know, what I've learned from this person and from that person, and, you know, just kind of find what works for me. And I hope you do that as well. So again, we're going to make pulled chicken today. I have had a long day, so I'm hoping this video is a little shorter. I went and picked up a smoker today that somebody was giving away, just because it's seen better days. It's rusted out. It definitely needs some repair, some new parts, and that's what I'm kind of going to do with it. So stay tuned for Frankensmoker. You'll see down the road. But anyway, I could do welding and stuff. I'm a certified MIG welder. I did that back in 2020. But that's definitely not going to be the direction of this channel. I don't have the equipment right now, nor do I really want to get into that. I'm hoping just to buy some replacement parts and bolt them on there. So be prepared for Frankensmoker. Okay, give me a second to collect myself. Alright, on with the video. Again, I'm going to use chicken thighs, the dark meat. You know, I do physical therapy for a living, so just knowing about anatomy in general, of course of humans, but it applies to chickens as well. You know, the thighs are, you know, that's the dark meat. It's got to do with blood flow and hemoglobin. That's why that's a darker color. It's getting more blood flow. Those are the working muscles of the chicken when it's walking around, right? So it just makes that portion of the chicken a little juicier. It's got a little more fat content to it. So I'm a dark meat fan. But anyway, let's get to the video. Let me show you guys what we're gonna do. I'm sorry, Biscuit. I have not been giving you enough attention. I'm really sorry. Now listen, I have my gloves on, so I'm gonna have to change this glove, Biscuit. I'm gonna have hairy chicken. Do you understand? Biscuit. No one wants hairy chicken. Oh. Look at me. Look at me. I'm sorry. This cat likes to be patted. Okay, listen, I gotta make this chicken. It's getting late. Will that be okay? Will that be okay, Biscuit? Alright, I gotta get back to work. I'm sorry, Biscuit. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I will pet you when I get a moment. I promise. Sorry about that, guys. Biscuit was a little upset. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So I've got my chicken thighs here. And thank goodness that these are cage-free, raised with no antibiotics. It says that they would sing the chicken songs every night, and every chicken had its own hammock. So don't worry. These chickens were very well loved and cared for. So, I mean, as opposed to I've eaten chicken before that was, you know, abused a little. Maybe smacked a couple of times. Not hard. But anyway, I won't get into that. Totally different taste. So let's get into our video here. These are our boneless, skinless chicken thighs. So don't trim these, just leave these as is. And this will be pretty simple for you. I'm gonna hit these, well first, wait, I almost forgot. I'm gonna pat these dry. So let me get some paper towels here. All right. You want to pat those dry. Again, just to get that moisture off of them. Trust me on this. You're going to get a lot better texture to the chicken. Because this moisture that's on here is just another layer that's going to prevent your seasonings and what we put on it from adhering to the meat. So we don't have to go crazy. So again, flipping it over, you may have to do this a couple of times. Because you know, you flip it, moisture gets on the bottom, you flip it again, and you're like, hey, I just dried that off, but now it looks a little moist. So, after a couple times, you should be good to go. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of honey. Just a little honey. There are honey rubs you can use. A lot of people will do that, and that's fine to do. Just regular honey works as well, because we're going to already put a rub on it. So that is up to your discretion. And it doesn't take much. It really doesn't. Just going to flip that over. Same thing, just a little drizzle. Hopefully I don't make too much of a mess. And then just rub that in. Beautiful, it smells good. And that's nice and sticky. So that'll help our rub to stick as well. So then, as promised, I went to the store and I told them, you give me the cheapest stuff you got. Now, I took the lid off this, I gave it a smell. And I won't lie, it smells like the cheapest stuff there is, but alright, we're riding with it now. We're gonna see what happens. So we're gonna just give that a coat. It does have an interesting smell to it. That's the only way I can describe it. This doesn't smell like any barbecue rub that I have ever used. So I'm a little bit scared and a little bit excited right along with you. I'm trying to figure out what that smells like. I'm getting a lot of garlic from it, believe it or not. I don't even know if this has. It does have garlic in it. So I'm really getting, I just looked on the back of the ingredients for the first time. It's got garlic in it, and that's what I'm smelling. So this is just heavier in garlic. Most rubs, you'll smell more of the cayenne pepper or the chili powder, more of the heat. This is definitely got more of a garlic smell to it, but I'm not going to judge it just yet. Just interesting, something to note. So I'm going to give it a good coat here. And just like with patting it dry, you may have to do this a couple of times, flipping it over. You're going to lose some of it sticking to the board, falling in the floor as it's doing with me right now. I make a mess sometimes, so if you do as well, don't feel bad. This cutting board is probably not as big as what I would like. Alright, so I got a good coat on there. I've got my smoker, using the pellet smoker today, got it set to 350. Yes, 350. I'm not a big fan of low and slow with chicken, and you're going to see that. Chicken just doesn't benefit from low and slow, you know, in my opinion. Again, I don't know everything. People do it. You're definitely free to try that out. Just see how it works for you. Even though this is skinless, and I don't have to worry about that particularly, but if you want to get that bite through skin, you just need a higher temperature. But anyway, these are boneless, skinless, but I'm going with a higher temperature anyway. That's just me. That's what I like to do. Now I'm going to roll these up kind of in a little ball. And just like that. This is going to help that chicken to keep a little bit of a thicker mass while it's cooking. Because I'm cooking at a higher temperature anyway. These are not going to take long. They're small. I just want them to repel that heat a little bit more. Get a little more time on the smoker to absorb some of that smoke. So that's how we're going to do that. Now I'm going to prepare a pan. Give me just a second. Okay, friends, I got my pan here. So I'm just going to use a tin foil pan. I'm going to push this chicken right out of the way here. Here's our pan we're going to use. I'm just going to put a little chicken stock in there. So it doesn't have to be that much. Good thing I don't have a lot in here. I would have to go to the store. But just enough to coat the bottom of that pan, really. Maybe a quarter inch will do up the side, which is about what I got here. Quarter inch up the side, half inch. You're good to go. Again, that's just for a little moisture content and flavor. Let's not forget that. So again, we got our chicken that's just kind of rolled up here. Gonna put that in our pan here. Looks pretty. I'm sure it's going to be delicious. Got plenty of room. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get that on the smoker. 325. Let's do it. Okay guys, got that on the smoker. Boy, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful color. I went ahead and put that Coke can is again water. Just got water in it to keep the chamber moist. Even though I've got chicken stock in here, I probably don't have to worry about it, but always better safe than sorry. Hey, can't get too much moisture in that chamber. So I'm just going to close that up, let that go to work. Again, you can't see this dial, but it's a 325. So I'm just going to let that cook, and we'll check back on it. This won't take long at all. Probably in about 30 minutes, I'm going to check on it. My goal is to cook this to about 190, so we'll see. So now I'm just waiting, and I have an idle mind, I guess, a little too much time to think. Full disclosure, I'm a hypochondriac. So when I went to pick up that smoker earlier, It was an old friend of mine from high school that I graduated with, and she's now a nurse practitioner. And it was all I could do not to be like, I have a swollen lymph node, and I do. I'm telling you, it's like right under the front of my chin here. I can feel it, but it's real sore right there. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm dying. And I don't mean to joke about that. But, you know, when you do have that sort of, I don't want to say disease, but disorder, you do go to the worst case scenarios. I'm one of those people that goes to the urgent care probably too much. You know, just worry myself to death. But anyway, I did not ask my friend to look at this, but I'm sitting here worrying about it. And I'm like, it's sore. I'll probably live. We'll see. But I'm going to check on the chicken. It's been probably about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I've lost a little track of time. I didn't exactly look at the clock when I started. So I've been trying to use my internal clock to guess about how much time has passed. Somewhere between 45 and an hour, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to take a look, see what it looks like. Okay, so again, probably about an hour in. And yeah, it's starting to get a little smoke color on it. So the tops of those is starting to dry out just a little bit. Not dry out, but you know, the moisture is kind of gone from the very tippy tops of those. So I'm gonna get a little water and spray it down. Okay, so I did spray that down a little bit. As you can see, it's really looking good. It's getting some good color. And I was just curious, so I went and got a probe here. I'm just gonna kind of just stick that in and just kind of see where we're at. So we're cooking fast, like I said. Been probably about an hour. Forgive me, this is hard to do one-handed here. I'm trying not to go all the way through here, which I did do. Oh my. Alright, 157. I think I went all the way through this one here at the beginning. So be careful not to do that. You'll get, you know, if that hits the pan, you're going to get a different reading. Yeah, I thought that was a little hot before. I was actually down into the broth and into the pan earlier. So this is a more accurate reading, probably about 160 is where we're at. And I'm going to go to probably about 190. This is a smaller one, so this one is getting a little warmer. So we'll see. Yeah, you can see the size difference there between this little guy and that one there. So this one's getting done much faster. So don't be afraid to check on your individual pieces of chicken when you do this. Don't think that you got to take all this off at the same time. If you got little smaller ones like this, they're just going to cook faster. So just keep an eye on them. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this back up here. But I'm going to cook this to about 190. Dark meat, you definitely want to cook more than white meat to a higher internal temperature, that is. 180 will work, don't get me wrong, but I like to get it just even a little higher than that so it really pulls apart nice. So I'll keep checking on it, and again, I might have to get those little ones off a little earlier. This is why this cat is named Biscuit.
Don't look at me like that.
Biscuit is hard at work making the biscuits, folks. So we're gonna have chicken and biscuits. That was not somebody knocking on the door. Me and Biscuits watching little Jeepers Creepers. But anyway, the biscuits will be done shortly, so hang tight. Okay, so this is a little hard to do while filming, so that's why I did it like this. So as you can see, that's right where I want that to be. 190 degrees. So, boy, these look good. I'm gonna take these off the smoker now, and I'm gonna let it rest. Then we're gonna pull it. Okay guys, so I've let this rest probably about 20 minutes. These are smaller pieces of meat. You don't have to have some of those crazy rest times, you know, like with brisket, which honestly I think it's too much when people rest a brisket like 3 hours. I'm hungry, I'm about eating. You know, honestly, the longest I'll rest anything, even a pork butt or a brisket, is an hour. I won't say that's the longest. I mean, if your guests aren't there yet, obviously, you know, you can take some liberties and keep it in a cooler and keep it nice and warm and get a lot more rest time out of it, sometimes 5 or 6 hours. But anyway, when you're ready to eat something like this, 20 minutes, you can go 30 if you want, just to let that kind of cool down a little bit, let that moisture kind of work its way back to the core. Simple as that. So I know I keep saying pulled chicken here, but again, this is boneless, so you know, we're not really pulling this, we're just kind of shredding it. And it's hot, as you can see. You can do this with a fork, 2 forks. Yeah, it's pulls apart nicely there. So I'm not going to make a big production there as far as shredding. I can go back over this and shred as much as I want. But boy, it smells good. It smells really good, and you can see, you know, really retain some good moisture. So I'm just going to shred that apart there, one piece at a time. Wow, that skin, I love the skin. I'm calling it the skin. Again, this is skinless. I just mean kind of the smoke bark that is created on this, that kind of outer piece. The aroma is intoxicating, I should say. It's very, very good. Smells very good. Now, some of that garlic smell that I talked about earlier, I'm not smelling that now. So that's probably been, you know, kind of offset a little bit by this chicken broth that we put in here in the container. And I'm going to continue to shred this, pull this apart, but I think it's about time we try a piece, just to see what this tastes like. So I'm going to take my gloves off here. Okay, I guess the moment of truth. So we've got our chicken here. It's very tender. Wow, that's very good. Very good. That chicken broth will really help that maintain the moisture on the inside. That is so good. I kind of want Sorry, I'm talking with my mouth full here. I want one of these kind of outside bits, at least a little piece of, because again I want to get some of that sort of that what I call the outer bark there. Wow. It is so moist, so delicious. It is really good. I know Biscuit. Biscuit can smell it, I'm telling you. That is phenomenal. Okay. I'll give you a piece. Alright, Biscuit. It's Biscuit approved, folks. That's what Biscuit was waiting on. Alright, we're gonna eat. Okay guys, that was the cook. It did take longer than what I thought. It took about 2 hours and some change, maybe 2:15, but that's okay. My final analysis, my takeaway, it was very good. It was delicious. I will say, comparatively, I would probably go with like a middle of the road type of a rub. And again, like I said before, I'm learning right along with you. I'm just applying the principles of barbecue, trying some new things. Now again, that was the cheapest rub I could find. It was still good, but it definitely didn't pack the, the flavor that I'm accustomed to, I guess. Even in like the McCormick brands, which is a good, McCormick's a good middle of the road. You can pick that up at Kroger. I've never been disappointed with those kind of rubs, that particular brand. And I'm sure there's some other ones that are just kind of mid-price range, not rock bottom, not bottom shelf, but not, again, Myron Mixon or Franklin. So again, it was very good. Would I serve that, if I was catering? Probably not. I would want my catering probably to be definitely next level. It was plenty good enough to cook, in your backyard. But again, comparatively, it just didn't have the flavor that I guess I'm accustomed to or that I would want with my barbecue personally. So that's my honest analysis. The chicken was cooked beautifully, so I have no complaints with that. And all in all, I had a good time. I hope you did too. And I'll see you next time.